Yo, sorry that I didn't upload recently. Turns out that Nvidia is a bit retarded. The latest drivers just, for some reason, they crash my editing software anytime I try to do anything. So that's why I didn't upload this week. Obviously, I fixed it. That's why we're here right now. But in the future, I know how to get around it now. All right, let's roll the video. I'm going to throw the comment up on the screen. This guy was asking me to do some M+, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not the best M+ player. Like, I'm about to get mad exposed right now. But I have this +9 Plaguefall, and I figured I'd talk a little bit about how I play M+, and, you know, what to do about it. Also, I'm going to box every employee at Nvidia because I'm looking at my OBS right now and my fucking stream looks like my computer has Parkinson's, and I know that it's running at like perfectly smooth 140, even above that. So thanks. Either way, let's talk about it. Okay, so while I'm flying, obviously I'm going to show you my gear, I'm going to show you my stats, and just talk a little bit about what I'm thinking, how I play this. So I've got all three legendaries that I like to use. I've got my fully upgraded Demonic Synergy, I have my Horned Nightmares, and I also have Wilfred's Summoning. Now, you have to determine what you're trying to do in your M+ before you go in, right? Because obviously you can't change your talents, but also Demo, the reason I love this is you have so many options to play with. So I'm not going to cover the Dreadstalkers build or the Implosive Potential build in this video. If you want to go check out Wooey or I Am Alive TV, they all have great videos on, you know, how to use those and, you know, best ways to play them. But I'm just going to specifically talk about what I do, right? When I'm playing M+, I prefer to be a boss shredder. That's my purpose. When we get to the boss, I'm going to pump with my single target rotation, and I'm going to absolutely decimate. I was hitting like 10 to 11K single target with Lust last night, or even above that. And for the most part, that's just because that's how I like to play. But I could see that there's a lot of different ways that you could do it. I still think our talents are correct. You definitely could make an argument for Nether Portal. What I could see is go Wilfred's Superior Summoning and still run this build, because you're just going to be churning through. I haven't done the testing on Soul Conduit and Wilfred's Superior Summoning, but I really feel like if you want to do consistent damage throughout the M+, that could be a really good route you could take. So again, feel free to experiment with it and choose what suits you, what kind of playstyle you want to do, whether or not you want to do consistent damage, whether or not you want to be an AoE god, whether or not you want to be just a boss killer. But that's how I play M+. The comment asked me to explain rotations, what I'm saving stuff up for, how I'm playing certain packs and pulls. So when we get in there, I'll explain a little bit of my philosophy, but I can do a bit now. You obviously have to have some experience in M+. Knowing when the boss fight is coming up, you know, 1 to 2 minutes before that, you want to start saving your CDs, because obviously you're going to start doing less and less damage. But for me, that's okay, because I'm going to outshine everyone on the boss, right? So knowing the dungeon is probably the most important. There's certain fights where Demo is just outperformed or has a problem. Like the second boss on Halls of Atonement, we really don't have enough AoE cooldowns to do that fight justice unless the tank groups them up properly, right? So the first thing is knowing the dungeon. Knowing when you're going to have your CDs up. The second thing is implosion is really important to understand. The damage done to the initial target is based off of your imp's remaining energy. But all of the damage dealt to secondary AoE targets is the imp's full damage. This means that it's usually better if you have a ton of imps to just throw them at the pack. Because if you have, let's say, 11, 14-ish imps, if you could wait maybe 3, 4, 5 seconds, I don't know how long they really last sometimes. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever had this problem where you're just like looking at your imps and then all of a sudden you go back down to 3. So if you can learn that timing, it would be best to throw a large amount of imps at a big AoE pack, because all of those secondary targets are going to take full damage. And that's another reason why the Hand of Gul'dan Horned Nightmare build, that could go really well. especially with maybe Soul Conduit and Sacrifice Souls. Can you imagine just playing off those Demon Bolts and Shadow Bolts with big AoE? Again, everything's up to you with Demo. There's like 50 of us total in the world. So, hey, world's your oyster. But let's go ahead and get into this +9.